Hey, shalom, shalom, shalom. Back again with just another quick lesson. Um, as you can see, I have the fair use under the Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. So, with that out of the way, um, I was watching this commentary, and you can see the page here, and it's addressing this roast of Kevin Hart, and I didn't get to watch that, but I caught the some of the YouTube excerpts from Cat Williams, and then I came across this, so I was curious what he had to say. Now, again, as we always know, we take out the bones, get the meat, take out the bones. But I'm going to run the closed caption on this and just bring out a couple of scriptures, let you see what I'm hearing. And as I stated, I left it where you can see, so you can go and check out the page itself. But as always, I want to begin by giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rahah Chodesh. Double honors to the apostles, the elders, the bishops of Great Millstone. Peace and salutations to the house of David, to the 144,000, to the men, women, and children scattered throughout the four corners of the earth of the hopeful elect. To you I say shalom. So I want to jump right here. Proverbs 9:14 and 9. And I'll jump in at 8, and it reads, "The wisdom of the prudent is to understand his way, but the folly of fools is deceit. Fools make a mock of sin, but among the righteous there is favor." And we know that, Esau Edom, he's a fool, you know. He holds nothing in regards but himself, and everything else he holds in contempt. So let's get into this. Like I said, I don't really want to play the audio. You can go back and listen, but I'll let the captions run.
Gillis, he's the host. I never heard of the devil.
And this is basically our enemy is always pushing the envelope, pushing the boundaries, seeing what he can get away with, what he can't get away with. And he uses the desire of our people to either want to be rich, want fame, but he sets them up to have to tolerate him, and it's disturbing that our people would actually sit quietly and accept these things. Like, I mean, I get it, a roast, but then there's lines that should not be crossed. I've watched some of these roasts. They're funny. Some of them are just, why. But as you listen to this and what was said, then you kind of know that this thing was a setup, you know. And in some regards, hey, the so-called black woman, she's put herself in this position to receive this type of judgment. So I have no pity, but it's just you watch and you see that there's no remorse, there's no regret, there's no There's no anything, man. This man, he's proud of what he does. He's proud of what he's done. He's proud of what he continues to do. And given the opportunities, he will always reflect it. You know, and when you look at this, I really have no pity for these so-called, black comedians because they literally, it should have been a whole group of Will Smiths up there. And if you know what I mean, you know what I mean. Not his feminine, but when he decided to tap into his male side. But it seems like they only, if it's black on black, so to speak. But they mock at our pain. They find it amusing. This is Ecclesiasticus 12 and 10, and it reads, "Never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. Though he humble himself and go crouching, yet take good heed and beware of him, and thou shalt be unto him as though thou hast wiped a looking glass, and thou shalt know that his rust has not been altogether wiped away." So when these devils sit up there and make these jokes and purposely, you know, set these things up, they're showing how they really feel, and they're using you to try to make laughter and make light of it so that you think it's all just fun and games, but no, he's literally expressing himself. He's showing you that his rust has not been wiped away. His wickedness is still as fervent as it's ever been. He just, with the laws that are now in place, he has to restrain himself to a degree because the laws really are pointless and have no bearing on, what I mean, on justice in this society. But he can't wholesale do things like he used to. But what he's doing is showing you that, hey, that desire is still there. It's never left him. Let's keep going. And I'm, sorry you got to read it, but like I said, you can always go to this page and watch this, or you can just watch that the roast. So, as you can see, he says that the particular person involved called Cheryl Underwood and asked her, and she literally gave him permission to belittle, berate, uh, just treat her like a pile of shit. Hey, and the Most High is dragging this devil back to his original form to prepare him to do what is necessary to bring about, the words that are spoken, the race wars, the all of the different things. This devil is getting ready to turn back to his old self. And as you notice, if you read, it said that they told him to say these most racist of so-called jokes. 17 so-called white men got together and wrote these jokes out to belittle and berate, so-called, black people. And they set right there. This is Proverbs 3:31. It says, envy thou not the oppressor, and choose none of his ways. For the forward is abomination to Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai, but his secret is with the righteous. So, hey, and these people allowing them to do it is because in their minds they want to get where these devils are. So they have to accept, they have to that initiation process in order to attempt to level up, so to speak, in Esau's kingdom. And what they never understand is you're not going to level up. You're not gonna achieve any success through allowing this devil to berate and belittle and all you're doing is giving him an excuse to do it to all, you know. And again, this is Zechariah 11:5, and it reads, we'll jump up and start at 4. And this is Zechariah 11:4. It says, thus saith Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, my power, feed the flock of the slaughter. And what are they being fed? The truth now. They're being fed through the apostles, elders, and bishops of Great Millstone and the like-minded speakers. They're being fed the truth again. They're being fed the gospel. They're being fed their how should I say, their ticket for salvation. But only the elect are going to receive that ticket and possess it and come up out of the ways of Babylon. It says, whose possessors slay them and hold themselves not guilty. So, hey, they got jokes about it. Kevin's parents came over in a slave ship in a bottle. Come on, man. That's funny. That's that's what they passed for funny in 2026. It says, and they sell and they that sell them say, blessed be the Lord, for I am rich, and their own shepherds pity them not. So those that this devil has appointed to be, our so-called heads, they don't care. They're getting compensated for being quiet. They're getting compensated for sitting, and allowing these devils to do what they do. They're getting a cut. They're getting a piece of so-called Esau's pie. And these are those people. So now this is, the reward for them getting that is now they have to sit through this session, so to speak, and be belittled and berated, and brought low and talked to like they ain't shit. And I'm not gonna play this whole thing. You can come back and look at it. Like I said, if you want to go to the page, you can go to the page. But Esau Edom is preparing to come down again because he knows his time is running out. He knows that he has but a short time. So now he's preparing himself to go, return to his old self. And he's freeing up the tongue to talk the way he used to talk and move in the ways he used to move. But hey, again, we always have a more sure word of promise, man, of prophecy. So I'm going to end this. And like I said, you can always go back and look at this on your own. And this is Romans chapter 12 and 19. And it reads, dearly beloved, avenge not yourselves, but rather give place unto wrath. For it is written, vengeance is mine, I will repay, saith Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. Therefore, in thine enemy's hunger, feed him. If he thirst, give him drink. And we also know that this is referring to our own people. It's not referring to the enemies of our people. But if I'm in strife with my brother, with my fellow Israelite, you know, and I used to have a friend of mine. We always kill him with kindness. For in so doing, thou shalt heap coals of fire on his head. So when you don't reciprocate evil with evil, then hey, they're gonna feel ashamed. They're gonna feel unless you're just dealing with a pure wicked man, he's gonna feel some kind of way about steady oppressing and being in a wicked state to you. So I just wanted to bring that out. I was watching that, and it kind of like I said, I didn't watch the roast, but I mean now I'm kind of glad I didn't. I did watch this little section with Kevin and Kat, and that was hilarious. Cat just came in there and cut him left, right, and sideways. But that's neither here nor there. Hey, so with that, I hope this was edifying. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Rahah Chodesh, and double honors to the apostles, the elders, bishops, leadership of Great Millstone. Peace and salutations to the house of David, to the 144,000, and to the men, women, and children scattered throughout the four corners of the earth of the hopeful elect. To you, I say shalom and shalom.